I'm Mark Steiner of the Real News Network, and we at the Real News are working as a media partner with a number of organizations, including Food and Water Watch, the Democracy Collaborative, the Poor People's Campaign, the Center for Biological Diversity, among others, to bring U.S. senators and grassroots activists on the front lines together to address utility cutoffs during this massive unemployment we're witnessing because of the COVID pandemic. Today we hear from Senator Sherrod Brown of Ohio as he talks with Nicole Morris of Athens, Ohio, about the struggle she's facing educating her children in the midst of COVID and shutdowns of schools, and the dangers of having your utilities and water cut off, even though they're a hardworking family. Here's their interview.
I'm joined by Nicole Morris. Lives in Athens County, grew up in Claremont County, east of Cincinnati. And Ms. Morris, tell us what's happened since the COVID pandemic, since COVID-19 sort of arrived in Athens County. Athens is the home of Ohio University. It's also a county that's suffered a lot over the years with unemployment and low wages. Tell us what's happened to you, if you would, Ms. Morris.
Thank you, Senator. The main impact has been economic. Our uptown is essentially shut down with the exception of a few businesses. There was a soft reopening and it didn't go well. So we have people that are unemployed for sure and laid off indefinitely at this point. I happen to work for Ohio University, so I would like to share that story because it is the largest employer in Athens City, and since May, 200 workers have been laid off, and that's huge. I mean, that's so meaningful to this community. People are losing their health insurance and their wages. So I just really think that the impact has been so economically devastating that it's hard to even imagine, since there appears to be no end in sight. And then the second thing I really want to share, Senator, as a parent, the foundational impacts to our children are just enormous, and their parents. So I've been home with my 13-year-old son, working full-time, thankfully, since spring break. And it doesn't appear that they will be going back to school at least on campus, on the school campus in the fall. So that leads parents to the sort of nightmarish situation of trying to work full time, hold down their job, keep things on track, and also take care of their kids. I don't know how people with younger children are doing it. And I'm very concerned, Senator, about food insecurity. The kids that aren't going to school, some of them, they're probably not getting the kind of sort of structure food-wise that they normally would. So there's a lot. It's hard.
We know that it's for many children in our country, the best meals of the year are Monday through Friday during the school year. Their best time to eat, if you will. And government, simply the president hasn't stepped up at all in making sure that kids who are now living at home with parents who are working from home or essential workers or laid off aren't in many cases getting what they need to. What happens with utility shutoffs? What happens with you and your neighbors, with your neighbors who have lost jobs and people working at home and with lower wages because of partial furloughs and cutbacks? Talk through that, how that's affected Athens County and how it's affected you, if you would, Ms. Morris.
Thanks, Senator. I do have a personal story to share. So I am still employed, thankfully, but at a reduced wage structure due to COVID. And in March, right at the same time this all started, I had a catastrophic water main break at my house. It was an $1,800 bill that came from our local municipal water company to me. And let me tell you that it has put me and my family under so much stress. You get home and there's like literally a shutoff notice on your door. I mean, that impacts the children. It makes people afraid. And then they are going to be shutting off people's water and electricity here very soon. And to me, that is basic human dignity. how are people supposed to survive a pandemic without clean running water, electricity for their children? How are kids supposed to even, I mean, we have broadband issues, but how do you go to school if you don't have electricity? And what we're seeing here on our side of things is the full force of the federal government is not standing us up. The people are being literally forgotten. And if you think about all the children, which I'm sure you do, Senator, these are not just families collecting unemployment, having the time of their lives. These are people that sit home every night doing the math, trying to figure out how to get things done, and it's not adding up. And when the unemployment benefits end, I'm scared for my community, to be honest.
Yeah, I was just on the Senate floor today and listened to Mitch McConnell and other Republican senators saying that, if people are making more on unemployment, they won't go back to work. Well, first of all, most people aren't making more on unemployment. Second, most people in this country want to work. And third, there are millions and millions of people, including thousands in Athens County and in Southeast Ohio, hundreds of thousands in our state, who if they lose, if McConnell and Trump get their way and reduce that $600 a week down to $200, it will mean evictions, it will mean foreclosures, it will mean utility shutoffs, all of that. So I think what you're saying is, Congress, first of all, we should extend the unemployment benefit, the $600. We also should pass I'm working with Senator Warren on legislation, both to provide dollars for people that are about to be evicted, and second, to enact a moratorium on eviction, and including in the moratorium on eviction are dollars to pay utilities for those people that are close to being shut off their electric and water. So I assume that's something you think this Congress should do.
Absolutely. We are talking about basic humanity here. I just don't see how any representative, because this is happening across the country, Athens is not unique by far, how they could not address these basic housing, water and electric for their constituents during a time when the pandemic is no one person's fault. These aren't individual people who created this situation. This is something we all have to work through together. I mean, it's mind-blowing, Senator Brown.
It is mind-blowing. It's mind-blowing that in the middle of a pandemic that Congress, because of our inaction in the president's opposition, that we would see more people essentially on the street, more people get evicted, more people get foreclosed on, more people have their water or their electricity shut off, meaning that in the middle of a pandemic, it means more people on the street, more people at homeless shelters, already overcrowded, more people sleeping in their cousin's basement. And that's only going to make the spread of this coronavirus obviously worse. So, Ms. Morris, thank you for your willingness to speak out and stand up on these issues. It really, really matters.
Thank you. And thank you, Senator Brown, for, advocating for the people of Appalachia, the people of Ohio. We do feel forgotten here on Main Street, and the shenanigans that's going on in Washington, just people need help. I mean, the thread is broken. It's time to throw a lifeline. It's not a question, like I said, of hanging by a thread anymore. It's snapped. We need Congress to do the right thing.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Thank you. It's been my pleasure. And please keep up the good fight, Senator Brown. We
All right.
need you.
Thanks, sir, for your activism, and good luck with you and your son.